Oops. I just pulled my webcam down. Does it still work? Just a second. Yeah, it still works. What up?
Something completely new.
Fucking shit.
They did briefly mention that they thought the cube was cool and they want to have some more crafting in the game, but they didn't show any of that off. There was no gameplay of that.
I'm really excited to see what the... I'm really excited to see what the scale of the game is going to be and what the MMO and shared world aspects of the game are going to look like. That's honestly something that I'm more excited about than almost anything else about D4. Like, the game and, like, the play style, etc., I'm like, yeah, whatever. I mean, if it's simpler... Like, the thing is, like, if it doesn't have PoE's level of complexity, I will forgive that. And I think that, in a way, that's a unique thing of D3, right? I mean, that's great. Wait, what the fuck? 10,000 bits? God damn, dude. Thank you very much. Love your stream, Jamaria. Thank you very much. I love you too. 10,000 bits. I really appreciate that, man. Vile Guy, thank you very much for the $10. Blizzard likes to obfuscate information to make all of their baby casual players not feel bad. That's why in Overwatch, you can't even see any stats. It's terrible. And you should have the option to show that information. Hiding by default is fine. Vile Guy, I totally fucking agree. Thank you very much for the $10. I appreciate that, man. You should do a D2 run sometime to warm up for D4. D2's skill and loot systems were really good and make a big impression. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but it's something that I'm considering. Asmon, can you unban me from your channel? Just go ahead and message a mod and they can check your logs and decide it themselves. So yeah, I mean, in general, we miss you. BlizzCon, dude, yo, that's fun. I miss you too, man. I try not to look at Twitter, man, because then I'll get too much FOMO. Like, I will. I know, man. I miss you too. I hope you guys are having fun. So listen, D2 servers are down for what I know. Well, the point is, you can see stats in Overwatch. Well, I think that they're probably talking about something else. And that's what I was curious about too. But in Diablo 3, I think what he's saying makes sense. Overall, like, if they're making Diablo as a game to be catered towards, not necessarily like catered towards, but, you know, built around kind of being a... Yeah, there's the world right there. Being a more casual and easier to get into version of PoE, I feel like that was their strategy with trying to take over the MMO market with WoW. Is that with WoW, it was a much easier version of EverQuest, and people liked it a lot more for that. So if they do the same thing with Diablo 4, I could actually see Diablo 4 becoming incredibly fun to play. But yeah, with Diablo 4. Yeah, we have D3 for that? Well, no, but D3 isn't really very fun. Like WoW, like classic WoW still had a lot of progression systems that were meaningful, and I think that's why people still enjoyed it. And overall, watch Punkrat's video of why Shadowlands will suck. Well, I'll look at that later on. And I saw he sent me a message on Discord. He said, don't be fooled. So, yeah, I might take a look at that at some point. But overall, like, this map right here, out of all the things that I've seen with Diablo 4, this picture of the map is the most promising thing. This is the most promising thing to me. Like, maybe I'm wrong about that, but, you know, I don't know. I think it's really cool. It's very, very promising. Punkrat is huge clickbait. Well, he didn't, no. He didn't tell me to watch the video. He simply just said, don't be fooled by Shadowlands. It's, you know, like, it's the same shit, right? He did not tell me to watch his video. So please, guys, don't create any drama where there is none. I know chat loves to fucking start drama, but just stop, guys. Just stop. Anyway, we'll look at the Rhykker interview. So I think Quinn, overall, did a great job of basically interviewing and getting this guy, like, basically getting his thoughts out there, right? Oh, is there... Where's his interview? Yeah, where's his interview? David Kim? It's a Twitch VOD. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, hopefully, did I spell it wrong? Okay, I spelled it so... Oh, wait, no, I did not spell it so badly. Oh, I guess I can just find it off of his YouTube channel. That's probably a good idea, too. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull it up. All right, you should watch D2 release video. I'll look at that later, but first things first, people really suggested me to watch this, and so I want to go ahead and do this first. Okay, give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up. Okay, videos, let's see here.
You can help us reconnect.
Really? Okay, let's see.
And give me confirmation if and when we are live. I'm not going to be able to keep
All
up with
right,
the chat
so...
today, but I will keep an eye. Yeah, I think we want to get you a bit more,
Oh, I see.
I just noticed, yeah.
As you see fit. And then every
Thing. It's the same item we got on our playing on a professional.
Okay.
The one, the only David Kim, folks.
Okay, give it 1 second. All right, we're going to take a look at this.
Remove armor for science. There you go.
Well, now turn her around.
No Barbie dolls. This is a warrior, all right?
True. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit just so you guys can see the whole screen.
Oh, what was that? Estador's.
Okay, there we go. All right, we're good.
Estador's overflowing camp. Oh, okay, it's a lightning thing. It's the same item we got on our Sorg.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't hear much of the sound. Awesome. Yeah, sounds great.
All right, so he's going to bring in one of the other lead devs for D4 right here.
Nice to meet you, David.
Didn't they say there was PvP too? Well, they that's also like that's true. I mean, like if they do PvP, like that's one of the big questions that I also have, right? And before we get into the video, I just want to say this: like, how does PvP mesh with this? How many people are supposed to be in this zone? Is it 200, 2,000, 20, 50? Like what? So if they have PvP in these zones, like open world PvP zones, fuck, dude, that would be awesome. 100 people? I don't know. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's too many. I don't know. I think that just seeing the way the game plays is probably the best way to be able to make that decision. I don't know. We need another healer for this LBRS run too, by the way. If anybody wants to come and heal for LBRS, just send me a message in game, and I'll invite you.
Fantastic. The one, the only David Kim, folks. If you follow my videos and my streams, you know I've spoken a lot about him and how he updated his LinkedIn a few years ago to state that he moved over to Team 3. And you can finally talk about that now, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the speculation was it was going to be for PvP type balancing because you have
like, hey, what's up, man? I stalked you on
LinkedIn. You didn't play
LinkedIn
as a pro player because you couldn't for conflict of interest, but you were playing on a professional level. You played StarCraft 2 on a professional level. You were huge in the StarCraft scene, a major balancing guy. Like you were a hero there.
Oh, I see.
And,
not really, but I did my best.
You did great.
That's good.
And so hearing that you were coming to D3, I was like, oh man, okay.
I say it's actually really cool to see like people who are like devs and shit like that used to come from actually playing the game. Like I know that's not necessarily, it doesn't make the best dev, it's just somebody who's like a pro player, but just seeing that is cool.
Either
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4. Either you want to do something completely different, or
like Ian, exactly. Like
you
Ian.
came to fix PvP in Diablo because they tried to do it in D3 and they couldn't get it into a state where they were happy with it.
No,
So
they couldn't.
now that you're able to talk about things, what happened? What's the story?
Oh, so around the time when I was finishing up my responsibilities on the StarCraft 2 team, I looked at my options, and Diablo 4 sounded so exciting, so I moved over. So I'm the lead systems designer on the team, so I work, me and my team works on things like class design, items, progression systems, PvP, like you said.
Oh, wow.
Things along those lines.
So this is the guy. This is the guy we talked to.
Guest.
Okay.
It says not to adjust, but I had noticed this before that one of the
Great.
mics is a lot louder. Oh man.
Oh, mine is.
This is
okay.
a dev.
I think it's peaking. It says not to adjust. Should we adjust it?
Up to you. It's your stream.
Oh, but there's like labels that say don't adjust. Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to individually.
Should I pull this out a little bit?
Oh yeah, maybe as a hack. Yeah, just try that.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Sorry about that. Awesome. So you had lead systems designer. You saw the opportunity. How's it been? How's been the transition? Because they're two very different genres of game.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought it would be much harder than I.
What Rhyker's doing right here is actually a very, very great interview technique. He's basically trying to engage the interviewee on a personal level, so the interviewee will be more open and friendly during the interview. It's actually a really, really smart thing that he's doing here. And yeah, it's like, I think about this, you know what I mean? Why am I getting attacked? Somebody attack me with their attacks, man. Why does somebody fucking attack me? Shit. Okay, whatever. All right, let's go back. We'll watch the rest of this. I gotta zone back in.
But I think a lot of the game design philosophies kind of transcend genres. Plus, there's a lot of great people that I can learn from. And also, I did interview for the team. I applied, got the job. So that gave me a little more confidence, too. So I think that's just how to... so many Blizzard teams work this way. Like, if you want to switch teams, you actually go through the interview process, get approved, and then you can join the team, right? So that also gave me some confidence. And I've been here for a few years now, so yeah, it's great.
Awesome. What are you most excited about in Diablo 4?
So for me, I am the most excited about adding more replayability to seasons. So for example, on the item side, we want to make sure that legendary items are on equal or greater power level compared to set items in Diablo 4. That way you can customize every single slot. And also, I think we can do more. For example,
I'm really glad that they actually, because like Quinn talked about that, but Quinn brought that up to the other developer, right? But the fact that this guy is actually going out of his way to explain this personally, I think that's great. Very, very happy about seeing that. Okay. And it's at, wait, what do you mean? Oh, it's advertised? Okay, I was wondering why you guys kept saying that. I was so confused. The other guy had no idea what was going on. Well, I think that he knew what was going on. It's just that, like, it might be an issue of, like, he might be a newer developer, and he's probably not really as comfortable talking about that kind of stuff publicly because he doesn't want to accidentally say something he's not supposed to. I really think that's probably more so what it is than anything else. We don't need to reset. Just zone out and zone back in.
In a given season, what if we make some subset of legendary items really stand out over others, right? And also introduce brand new legendary items into the game. So this way, every season you have brand new builds to explore and brand new combinations to kind of figure out like which ones are the strongest possible combinations, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
They want to talk about rune words, I guess.
Okay. What can you tell us about rune words?
Oh, yeah. So there are two types of runes in Diablo 4, condition runes and effect runes. So you can take any condition rune and combine it with any effect rune to form a rune word, right? So have you seen the rune word in one of the dungeons yet?
Yeah, we picked up it on potion effect, then the critical applies.
Yeah, so for example, say you don't want the trigger to happen on potion use, right? What if you want it to happen on every time you stun something because you're going for a stun build? You can change out that condition rune and have that exact same effect happen on that condition, right? And if you don't like that effect, if you want, say, like, I want life leech after I stun something, then I could do that too, right? So you have that full customization, so it's pretty exciting.
The stun build.
What's the biggest chain of runes that you have in mind? Is it going to be like full 6 like in D2, or is it going to be limited to 2, 3?
Right now we're
6 runes that are linked together.
We haven't added progression to it yet, but that's also something that we're discussing right now.
Awesome.
It'd be a real good idea.
Now, with regards to atomization, I know that some of the legendaries will be altering the way some skills could operate.
Yeah.
Are we going to see like massive multipliers, like this legendary makes this skill do 500% more damage?
No, the plan, so the reason why I think that happened was because the Diablo 3 team didn't want to do nerfs to items because for various reasons. But where we're at right now is we do want to do nerfs.
Shut up! No! They nerfed my fucking class. I remember that. They nerfed Demon Hunters. I was so mad. Yeah, right, they didn't want to do nerfs. I was fucking furious. There were these abilities, it was like these red fucking, like, balls that would look like you're shooting, like a nether fucking ball of period blood at somebody, and they would just do ridiculous damage, nether tentacles, and I would fucking, no, dude, I was so pissed, man. I was so upset, and that day, I re-rolled. I was so mad about it because they buffed other abilities. So yeah, I guess they don't really nerf the items a lot, but that ability, man, that ruined my whole day. That ruined my whole week, man.
Strategically, so that it doesn't mess with the builds. So the plus side of being able to do nerfs is we can make sure that such crazy bonuses don't happen, right? Which I think is a good thing because it's going to make more builds much more viable.
Awesome. I think a lot of people are happy to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Talking
definitely
about dungeon keys.
Oh, yeah. How'd you hear about it already?
one thing that I like about that is that he's actually he's giving people insight into the decision and how the decision was came to, how they came to that decision by explaining Blizzard's thinking behind it. I really like that a lot. So yeah, I really appreciate that.
God, where was it? It was either at a panel or the interview, dev interview.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's a system. It's inspired by the Greater Rift key system. There's dungeons in the world. You can find.
Yeah, these are the
keys,
keystones.
And that will upgrade and modify these dungeons into higher difficulty things, and you can stack different.
Dude, I
want
to play this game.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to expand upon in regards to that?
Yeah, so there are the difficulty levels, kind of like Griff levels, on the keys themselves. There are dungeon affixes that make the dungeon more difficult and different. But I think what's cool about dungeon keys compared to Greater Rifts is you can see some of the things on it, right? You can know like what exact affix there is, and because it says the specific dungeon that you're going to, you can know the monsters that usually show up in those dungeons, right? So because of these things,
so
you
they're
can pre-plan and strategize a little.
So that means the monsters aren't randomized. I think that's cool too, because right now all of the monsters and everything are like randomized in Greater Rifts. Like you can have, Act 4 tile set with, I guess it's PoE maps. Well, it's not entirely PoE maps because there are monsters that generally occur more often on certain maps, but you can have all kinds of different shit even in the PoE maps too. So but yeah, the bosses are the same in the PoE maps. You guys are right about that. It's a Mythic Plus system from WoW. Yeah, and so I do like that the dungeons are a little bit more static.
So you can change out, say it's like a dungeon where mobility is preferred. Maybe I can switch out one of my abilities with teleport, and I can kind of think more before I go in. So
are they
that added,
timed?
Strategic depth, I think, is something that's very cool.
Yeah, are these timed dungeons?
Level up your skills individually.
I don't like timed dungeons.
As you level, you gain skill points, but you also find skill tomes in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm curious
you're
about.
able to swap between these. Okay.
Oh, so these are permanent choices.
Permanent choices.
Yeah, and then you'll get one or more skill points when you level up, and like you said, you can get skill point tomes. And then you can pick your choices that way.
Okay.
And then there's the talents.
Yes.
These you can reset and redo as you see fit. And then every class's talent tree is very different. Have you had a chance to take a look at different classes?
No, we didn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we didn't dig into that.
Yeah, I think that would be something that is interesting to look into in your stream because, like, in tomorrow's panel, for example, we're not going to be able to go over every single node or anything like that, right? Yeah. So, like, this one is 2 trees, and then at the end, you have one of 4 choices. These are kind of the stronger talents.
Those are like your capstone talents.
But if you look at the sorceress one, it's completely different. It starts with 1 elemental kind of node, and it branches off into 3, and she has a 1 of 6 choices, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you specialize either in one of the 3 elements.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Sorry.
And then for the druid.
So he said that the skills, you can't change those. I don't know. I mean, I don't know really how I feel that's good. I feel like, you can with tomes. I feel like you should be able to do it, but it should be a prohibitive cost, like Orbs of Regret in PoE, or like the 50 gold respec in Classic WoW. I feel like there should be a certain degree of respec ability. Like I don't want to have to make a new character if I want to try out a new ability, right? I don't think that's fun. It feels like it's prohibitive more than it's fulfilling because you have that type of character. I feel like it's more prohibitive, and I don't enjoy it as much. So I think that they should stick with that, but they should just allow there to be a way that you can kind of offset it in some way. It's like D2? Well, that's fine, right? I mean, I get that some people want it to be like D2. I don't like that, personally. It's not what I like in a game. I feel like it's prohibitive and restrictive. Some other people like that. That's cool, right? It's the same reason where, like, I don't want to have dual spec in Classic WoW. So I can see where you guys are coming from. Permanent's better. I feel like, again, if there's a way that you can go back, it's like you need to have, like, 5 Orbs of Regret or 3 Orbs of Regret to get rid of 1 ascendancy point. So that's a lot of money, especially for like a casual player, right? So it's not like you can just go back and get rid of that immediately. You'd have to spend at least some time getting those items. It's 5? Yeah, I forgot it was 5 or 3.
It looks kind of like this right now, but what we're exploring is hybrid nodes. So you can imagine
Hybrid
going
nodes.
down one of the sides, and you can transfer over to the other side, which makes it very powerful for the druid, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
for
they're
the
all very different.
For the druid, is it like one branch is shape-shifting and one is more of the
Nature magic.
Nature magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
So earth and storm magic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
see people asking about hardcore.
Oh yeah, of course we're gonna have hardcore in Diablo 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
Operate as it's always operated?
yeah, yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
question, easy answer.
So when you die, you'll die forever. I personally don't understand,
The appeal?
but yeah, because like I don't want to lose all my progress over the past 2 years or whatever. But we know
Yeah.
that there are so many
I'm
people.
not
and
a
it wouldn't
fan
be
of that
Diablo
either.
game without hardcore, so yeah.
That's fair. Do you want to talk a bit more about the... Actually, I should... Yeah, I think we want to get you a bit more...
Oh, I see.
I just noticed. Yeah, sorry about
Oh,
that. All right.
that's fine.
So, the PvP system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk a little bit more about how that's going to work.
Okay.
It's gonna be
All right.
similar to
Here we
D2
go.
where you can just hostile and then go kill people.
So there will be specific areas of the world where you can do that. So you can just go hostile and kill people. Maybe there's some objectives that PvE players would go there to do and things like that. So that's where we're at with the world PvP. And we are also exploring some PvP modes that could be fun for Diablo 4. It's going decently well, but we haven't found something that we really love. So we'll have more info to share on that in the future.
Okay, so something like... So, for instance, in D3, you know, they were making the PvP team-based, I guess, team deathmatch sort of stuff. Is that the kind of potential idea we're looking at?
So what we're looking at is modes, PvP modes that are more mixed PvP and PvE. Because we feel that Diablo,
I like that
at
a
the
lot.
core of it, the most fun thing is
Yeah.
killing like mobs and monsters, right?
Yes.
I like that a lot.
Powerful. So in a PvP match, we want to kind of capture that too, and have you kill players too.
Are they gonna try to make it like a MOBA? Like, if they try to make it like a MOBA, dude, like, I actually, that is, I'm not saying that the MOBAs are amazing or whatever, right? But I think that if they build something like that, it's like you look at Alterac Valley. I mean, there's plenty of really island expedition PvP. Like, there's plenty of examples of this. I think that actually makes it really, really interesting because it makes the meta. I feel like if you have it just strictly player versus player, maybe it's going to be the same. But I feel like if you have like a PvE component, it allows more specs to be viable because you can have specs that are both good at doing PvP and PvE rather than only specs that are good at doing PvP. So I'm actually really curious to see how this is going to evolve. League of Diablo? Yeah. I don't know what you guys mean by, what was this word that you guys were using? Shit, what was it called? It was a Gambit. I don't know what Gambit is. I'm not sure. But overall, more like D2. I wonder if, I hope they have like a thing where you can go out in the open world where other players are hostile to an extent and get more gear, right? There's like a magic find bonus or something like that, like in war mode. And I wonder if they'll do something like that. Oh, it's like Destiny 2. Okay, yeah, I've never played Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know some ideas were like two different teams racing through two different greater rifts, and like whoever can, you know, beat the other. That's
not a fan of that.
EVP type of
Yeah,
scenario.
not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But then you can
like
also
that, right?
kill that other team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is an esports angle potentially on the table?
Not for us, but you never know what the players will do with the
Thank God. That means that the PvP might actually be good.
game once it's out, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is the rune that we were talking about.
Yeah, it might actually be
Yeah,
good.
it's a
Hey,
simple rune work,
there it
but,
is.
Once we add like progression to it too, it's gonna be much more customizable, I think. Yeah. And at the panel tomorrow, we're gonna be showing off some more.
I like
runes,
leaving it up to the community.
So yeah, be sure to check that out, right?
Is there a like a character stat window that we're missing, like what would have like strength, dexterity, that kind of stuff?
For
Yeah.
item stats and items.
That's details, right?
Can you click on the details?
Yeah.
Probably not. Okay, it's fine. If you mouse over one of the items, it has like attack and defense and an affix on it, right? So what we're trying to do is attack generally means damage. Defense generally means damage reduction. We want to simplify some of the math choices into these stats and keep only the playstyle choices and add to the playstyle choices, right? So what I mean by that is like, say if you have a choice between two items, one says I deal 100 damage plus 100 damage, and then the other one says plus 10% damage. I don't really know which one actually does more damage unless I work out the math problem, right? So we kind of simplified those to attack, but we have more damaging affixes as well. So for example, we have like an affix that says more damage against faraway enemies or something, right?
Okay.
Or we have plus to talent nodes as affixes, which gives you a lot more damage to your choice. And that second one is very cool because if you look at the talent tree, say you went down the left talent all the way, you don't have a lot of points to spend on the other side remaining, right?
Making the game, and this is what I was talking about earlier in the conversation I had with Zach, is that making the game more complicated does not make the game better. It doesn't. It does not make the game better, period. Now, generally, I think that better games are more complicated. I am of the mind that I like more complicated games. But that doesn't mean that that necessarily makes the game better. Making it for recharge isn't good either? Well, yes, you're right. But I don't think that it's not early enough, it's too early for us to say they're making the game for retards. Because the details window is not even open. So we don't even know what's going to be available in terms of like what we can modify and what we can change. So I think that we should wait and see what the details panel is, and then get an idea of what the stats are that we're going to have to balance between. But I do agree with you that I want the game to be complex. I do want the game to be complex, but making a game complex should not come at the expense of making the game good, because I think those are two separate pursuits.
But you can grab like one of the tier 4 talents through items, which is very cool, right? And we're also exploring plus to skill points as affixes too. So we want to add as many playstyle choice affixes as possible. And
that's good.
Make sure that those are not math choices as much as we can.
Awesome. All right.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Oh, that's
I think playstyle choices turn into math choices, though. And that's like a concern that I have that like Blizzard kind of runs into with some games, is that usually the playstyle choice that people want to go with is the playstyle that yields the highest results and highest output. So whenever the playstyle results are, the playstyle choice is the one with the most math, well then what's the difference? So I'm not really sure how they're going to be able to change that. I think that, having varied types of bosses is really important. So like, for example, in Diablo 3, every single boss, as far as I know, you only fight that one individual boss. There's never a point where you fight like a trio of bosses in like a greater rift, I think. So I think that obviously, if you have like more dynamic types of bosses, it makes it to where there's less of an obvious best. Ubers? Well, yeah, but like Ubers don't scale. Yeah, it's not a GR. Like, they don't scale. I thought Ubers were just... Yeah, Ubers are one shot. Yeah, Ubers are a joke, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not endgame. Ubers are not endgame in the same way that Greater Rifts are. Greater Rifts are the endgame of D3. I know, yeah, Ubers, you have, like, what's his name? Siegebreaker and the guy that does the sand that comes down on you, or the Act 2 like boss. It's the fairy and Leoric. I remember this. It's been quite a while. Okay, D2 Ubers were good. Well, not Lilith. Was it Lilith? I don't even fucking know. Either cool. Yeah, cool. Anyway, let's go back to the video. So yeah, having different types of boss fights, I think, will encourage better types, and like different dungeons that are different will encourage less meta gameplay.
When you played D2 back in the day?
Yeah, of course.
Did you have a favorite class?
I think Barbarian was my favorite.
Good.
Like whirlwinding nonstop forever.
Fuck yeah.
What was yours?
Oh man. So my first favorite was the Necro. Just getting to play he's not a bad guy, but he's like a dark hero.
Yeah.
Getting to play that vibe was really cool. That was my first experience. I got through normal as a Skelemancer, and then all my as soon as I got to Nightmare, just all my skeletons are instantly dying.
I had that exact same experience too. Yeah. So and then there was no resetting of the points or anything like that, so we had to start over, right?
Exactly,
yeah, I had the exact same thing. Yeah. I think it was Act 3 of Nightmare, right?
It could be.
Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah.
And then my first successful character
So you
was
still have
a druid,
Frozen.
Shapeshifter.
Oh, interesting.
Werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my most successful character was a Hammerden.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So we know there's going to be 5 classes on launch. Is that definitely determined? I know you can't speak to what the other 2 classes will be.
Yeah.
Is there plan to perhaps introduce more down the line?
Yeah, of course. Through expansions, we'll have new classes.
And when we're talking about
So that's like
Crusader,
Crusader, Necromancer, etc.
Or maybe smaller scale things on a quicker turnaround.
Yes, the current plan is to go with the base game with the expansion model, like we've seen in the past with Diablo games.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're able to talk to monetization, but is that the only monetization in mind?
Oh, if you are trying to ask about are we going to sell power in the game, then the answer is no.
Okay.
Of course not.
But potentially cosmetics or something.
Potentially,
like and stash space or character slots.
Yeah, like we want to try to give players enough so that you don't like need more, especially the first few months or more of the game. But you never know what's going to happen in the future, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about crafting? We've heard that they want to make you guys want to make crafting a bigger thing in D4.
Yeah.
Again, like that's fine, right? If they want to make a few extra, like buying a few extra stash tabs for money, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think that's fine. Buying stash tabs for money, I think, is completely fine. Yeah, it's not fine. Well, then, don't you guys think it's fine in PoE? It feels like it's fine in PoE. Yeah, it's a $60 game. Yeah, but they're continuously developing the game. Like, I mean, it's not like they have like PoE has a lot more microtransactions. PoE is free, but they have a lot more microtransactions. So yeah, I still think that if they have the stash tabs that you buy extra space, I'll be honest, guys, I think that's completely fine. It's not a big deal. People can, like, the thing is that if you ever try to rationalize monetization with like Twitch chat or something, they're just completely like unreasonable. Like I don't like monetization either, but I feel like there needs to be a certain fucking goddamn it. I feel like there needs to be a certain level of people that are okay, of reasonable conversation that's to be had. I mean, you can't just say like, oh, well, there can't be any monetization at all or whatever, because if you do something like that, you're just starting from a place that's unreasonable. I think with WoW, for example, WoW is an exception because it has a subscription fee. But the box price of the game does not, in my opinion, necessitate no microtransactions. But I think that microtransactions should be very few and far between, unlike Path of Exile, where there are much more of them.
I've heard someone mention, I think, crafting components. Yeah. Is there anything more you can tell us?
Yeah, so for crafting, it's still a work in progress, but what I can tell you is the 2 goals that we have.